Hello again, grade 9 students, and welcome to another topic in math. For today's video, we are going to discuss the part 1 about simplifying radical expressions. This topic has 4 subtopics, namely, first, simplifying radical by reducing the radicand. Second, simplifying radicals by reducing the order of radical. Third, conjugate of radical expression. And fourth, simplifying radicals by rationalizing the denominators. But for this video, I will discuss first the 2 subtopics of simplifying radical expressions. Okay, without any further ado, let's start this lesson. Simplifying radicals by reducing the radicand. Okay, so when we say radicand, these are the numbers inside the radical sign. Now, how are we going to simplify this expression? So, for example, number 1, we have the square root of 20. So, kapag sinabi nating reducing the radicand, hinahanap natin or hahanap tayo ng dalawang factor ng 20 na kung saan ang isang factor niya ay perfect square at ang isa naman ay hindi. So, ano-ano ang mga numbers na merong perfect square? Okay, so we have 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, and 49. Perfect square sila kasi meron silang mga factor na kapag i-multiply mo yung factor ng number na iyon sa sarili niya, dalawang beses, ang result or yung product ay mismo yung number na iyon. So, halimbawa dito sa 4. The square root of 4 is equal to 2 because 2 times 2 or 2 squared is equals to 4. Another example. So, the square root of 9. So, ang square root ng 9 ay 3. Kasi 3 times 3 or 3 squared is equals to 9. So, ganun din dito sa iba. The square root of 16 is 4 kasi 4 times 4 is 16. The square root of 25 is 5 because 5 times 5 is 25. Ngayon, itong mga perfect square na number na ito yung papartneran natin ng isa pang factor para mahanap natin yung equivalent ng number na isi-simplify natin. Katulad dito sa number 1. The square root of 20. So, alin kaya sa mga perfect square number na ito ang isang factor ni 20? Okay, so the square root of 4. Ano pa ang isa pang factor ni 20 na kapag i-multiply natin sa 4 ay 20 ang sagot? Okay, so tama, ito yung square root of 5. So, the square root of 4 times the square root of 5 is equals to 20. So, kunin natin yung square root ni 4. Katulad nga ng sabi ko kanina, the square root of 4 is equals to 2. Kaya, the square root of 4 is equals to 2. Tapos, the square root of 5 ay retain lang siya sa loob ng radical sign kasi hindi siya perfect square. Kaya, yung simplified form ng the square root of 20 is equals to 2, the square root of 5. Pwede rin natin gawin yung prime factorization method para kung ayaw nyo na mag-isip ng mga possible na factors niya. Lalong-lalo na kapag malaki na yung numbers or malaki na yung given. Mahirap mag-isip ng ano nga ba yung perfect square niya, ano yung isang factor na perfect square niya, diba? Yung mga ganon. Kaya ang isang paraan para mas madali mahanap yung factors nila is by using the prime factorization method using the reverse division. So, paano yun? So, ulit, dito sa example number 1 natin, the square root of 20. So, ang gagawin lang natin is, i-divide natin yung 20 sa prime factors niya. So, 2. 20 divided by 2 is equals to 10. 10 divided by 2 is equals to 5. So, therefore, ang prime factors ni 20 ay 2 times 2 times 5. So, i-rewrite lang natin siya dito. So, we have the square root of 2 squared. 2 squared kasi 1, 2, dalawa yung 2 times 5 at yung isa pang prime factors niya. Kung makikita ninyo, meron tayo ditong exponent sa radicand. So, ang gagawin lang natin, kapag merong exponent, i-divide natin yung exponent na yon doon sa index. So, dito sa number 1, ang index niya ay 2 kasi square root. Okay, so i-divide natin yung 2 na exponent dito sa index and make sure na divisible yung exponent na yon doon sa index. So, as you can see, divisible naman ang 2 dito sa index na 2 natin. Kaya walang problema. So, 2 divided by 2 or simply cancel lang natin yung exponent. Ibig sabihin, lalabas na si 2 sa radical sign, pero ang 5 nasa loob pa rin siya ng radical sign. Kaya, ang simplified form ni the square root of 20 is equals to 2 the square root of 5, which is the same lang din dito sa unang ginawa natin. Eto, maganda naman to kapag maliit lang yung numbers na given. Kaso, yun nga sabi ko kanina, what if umabot na ng 1,000, hundreds yung papareduce na radicand? Mahirap mag-isip kung ano yung perfect square ng number na yon at ano yung factors na hindi perfect square. Kaya mas madali is yung prime factorization method. So, yan yung isang suggestion ko. So, pero bahala kayo kung saan yung mas bet ninyong gawin. Let's have number 2 example. The cube root of 16. So, cube root, so ang index niya ay 3. So, ganun ang gawin natin, prime factorization ulit. So, 16, i-divide ko lang sa kanyang prime factor na 2. So, 16 divided by 2 is 8. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So, therefore, the prime factors of 16 is 2 times 2 times 2. So, we have, okay, so i-rewrite lang natin siya, the cube root of 2 raised to 4. So, 2 raised to 4 kasi 4 yung 2 dyan. So, katulad ng sabi ko kanina, yung exponent ng radicand, i-divide natin doon sa index. Pero make sure na yung exponent na yon is divisible doon sa index. So, dito sa number 2, as you can see, ang exponent na 4 is not divisible by 3. Kasi kapag dinivide natin ng 4 sa 3, magkakaroon pa ito ng remainder na 1. Kaya ang gagawin natin is i-factor out lang natin to na dapat yung isang factor niya, ang magiging exponent nun, dapat divisible siya dito sa index natin. So, paano natin siya gagawin? Okay, so we have the cube root of 2 raised to 3 times 2. So, paano nangyari yung ganito? Diba sa law of exponent, kapag same base, i-add natin yung kanilang exponent kapag multiplication. Kaya 3 plus 1 na exponent dito is equals to 4. So, meaning, this expression is equivalent lang din siya dito. So, bakit ko siya ginawa? Ganyan. Kasi nga, ang purpose natin or ang goal natin is i-divide natin yung exponent dito sa index ng walang remainder. So, dito, pwede na natin siya gawin yon 3 divided by 3 or simply cancel natin yung exponent na 3 sa index na 3. Kaya lalabas na yung 2. Tapos, retain pa rin yung 2 na isa dito sa loob ng radical sign. So, therefore, ang simplified form ng the cube root of 16 is equals to 2, the cube root of 2. Next, number 3 example. The square root of 27 times x raised to the 5th power times y raised to the 7th power. So, ganun ulit gagawin natin yung numerical coefficient. Kunin natin yung prime factors niya. I-divide lang natin yung 27 sa kanyang prime factor. So, isang prime factor ni 27 ay 3. So, 27 divided by 3 is equals to 9. 9 divided by 3 is equals to 9. So, therefore, ang prime factor ni 27 ay 3 times 3 times 3. So, i-rewrite lang natin siya dito. So, the square root of 3 cube, kasi 1, 2, 3. Then, kinapi ko lang yung x raised to the 5th power, tsaka yung y raised to the 7th power dito sa given. Okay, so, again, tignan natin yung mga exponent dito sa radicand. Make sure na divisible siya dito sa index natin. At ang index natin ay 2, so dapat divisible dapat ito sa 2. So you can see, si 3, si 5, and 7, hindi sila divisible by 2, kaya ipa-factor out natin sila. So ito yung magiging factor nila. 3 raised to 2 times 3 to yun. Okay, same base, i-add natin yung exponent. So 2 plus 1 is equals to 3. So, same base. So, ito yung equivalent niya. Then, yung x raised to 5 naman is ginawa natin x raised to 4 times x. 4 plus 1 is equals to 5. Y raised to 6 times 5 para sa y raised to 7. Kasi 6 plus 1 is equals to 7. Same base lang natin na y. Okay, so kung makikita natin dito, ang mga exponent na niya ay divisible na siya by 2, which is yun yung index natin. So, 2 divided by 2, or simply cancel lang natin. So, we have 2 divided by 2 is equals 1, kaya lalabas na itong 3 sa radical sign. Tapos, itong 3 remain pa rin siya sa loob ng radical sign. Then, yung x raised to 4, i-divide din natin yung 4 divided by 2 na index. And that is 2. So, labas na siya sa radical sign. So, we have x raised to 2. Tapos, yung isang x remains sa loob ng radical sign. Then, yung y raised to 6, i-divide din natin siya. 6 divided by 2 doon sa index. So, we have y raised to 3. Then, yung isang y, remain lang din siya dito sa loob ng radical sign. So, the simplified form of the square root of 27x raised to 5 times y raised to 7 is 3x squared times y cubed, the square root of 3xy. Okay, next example, number 4. The cube root of 54a raised to 9 times b raised to 14. So, same process. Kunin natin yung prime factor ni 54 muna. So, 54 divide natin sa 2. That is 27. 27 divided by 3 is 9. 9 divided by 3 is 9. So, therefore, the prime factors of 54 is 2 times 3 times 3 times 3. So, i-rewrite lang natin siya. So, we have the cube root of 3 cube, kasi tatlo yan, times 2. So, ito yung isang 2. Times yung a raised to 9. So, ito dito siya sa given. Kinapi lang natin siya. Okay, next. Again, tingnan natin yung mga exponent. Make sure na divisible sila lahat sa ating index na 3. So, ito wala tayong problema dahil si 3 divisible na siya dito. Ang 9 divisible din siya dito sa index natin na 3. So, hindi na natin gagalawin ng mga yan. Pero si b raised to 14, ang 14 kasi ay hindi divisible by 3, kaya ito yung i-factor out lang natin. At gagawin natin, yung isang factor niya, dapat divisible yung exponent niya sa 3. Okay, so ganito ang mangyayari sa kanya. So ito, okay na yan, copy lang, copy, copy. So ito yung problem natin. So ang ginawa natin ay ginawang b raised to 12 kasi si 12 is divisible by 3. Okay, so to make it 14, naglagay lang tayo ng b squared. Same base again, add the exponent. So, 12 plus 2 equals 40. Di-divide na natin yung exponent doon sa index. So, 3 divided by 3 is 1 or simply cancel. So, lalabas na yung 3 na yan. Then, yung 2 remain lang sa loob ng radical sign. So, the cube root of 2. Then, a raised to 9, 9 divided by 3 na sa index, and that is 3. So, we have a cube. Tapos, yung b squared, 12 divided by 3 is equals to 4. So, b raised to 4. Tapos, itong b squared ay remain lang siya dito sa loob ng radical sign. So, since ang exponent niya is mas maliit kaysa dun sa index, so ibig sabihin, nakasimplify na siya. So, therefore, yung simplified form neto ay 3a cube times b raised to 4, the cube root of 2b squared. Okay, now let's move on to simplifying radicals by reducing the index or the order of radicals. Dito naman, ang goal naman natin ay mapaliit yung index ng ating mga radical expression. So, as you can see dito sa mga given example natin, matataas yung kanilang mga index. So, ang goal natin, sabi ko nga kanina, papaliitin natin yung index niya. So, example number 1 natin, the 15th root of 32. So, ganun pa rin ang gagawin natin, magpa-prime factorization pa rin tayo. So, divide natin ang 32 sa kanyang prime factor na 2. So, 32 divided by 2 is 16. 16 divided by 2 is 8. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Then, 4 divided by 2 is equals to 2. So, therefore, ang prime factor ni 32 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So, i-rewrite lang natin siya dito. So, the 15th root of 2 raised to 5 kasi 5 yung 2 na yan. Okay, sunod naman na gagawin natin, i-rewrite natin siya into exponential expression. So, naalala pa ba kung paano i-change ang radical expression into exponential form? So, ito yung last topic natin doon sa huling video natin. But I will put the link na lang din sa description box sa ibaba para doon sa hindi pa nakapanood. Now, to change this into exponential, yung radicand na 2 natin, ito yung magiging base natin. Tapos, yung exponent na ng 2, which is 5, ito yung numerator. Tapos, yung index, siya naman yung denominator natin. Next naman is, ilo-lowest term lang natin yung exponent. So, we have 2 raised to 1/3. 5 and 15 is divisible by 5. So, divide lang natin yung numerator and denominator sa 5, kaya we have 1/3. Kapag naka-lowest term na yung kanyang exponent, pwede na natin siyang i-rewrite into radical expression. So, magiging, etong 2, siyang radicand, yung 1 na numerator, andito yan, hindi na natin isinulat, at yung denominator, yun yung index. So, therefore, the 15th root of 32 is equals to the cube root of 2. So, kung mapapansin ninyo, mula sa 15th root, naging cube root na lang siya. Okay? Example number 2. The 8th root of 64. So, ganun uli, gagawin natin. Prime factorization uli. 64 divide natin sa 2. Is equals to 32. 32 divided by 2 is equals to 16. 16 divided by 2 is equals to 8. Then 8 divided by 2 is equals to 4. And 4 divided by 2 is equals to 2. So, therefore, ito yung mga prime factor ni 64. At i-rewrite lang natin siya. So, we have the 8th root of 2 raised to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 na 2. So, 2 raised to 6. Then next, i-rewrite natin siya into exponential form. So, we have 2. So, ang 6 na exponent ng 2, ito yung numerator, yung index, siya yung denominator. Then, ilo-lowest term lang natin to na exponent. So, since 6 at saka si 8 is divisible by 2, so, i-divide lang natin siya by 2. Kaya, we have 2 raised to 3 over 4. Since naka-lowest term na yung exponent, i-rewrite naman natin siya into radical form. So, si 2 na base, siyang radicand. Yung numerator, ito yung exponent. Tapos, yung 4, ito yung index. 2 raised to 3 is equals to 8. Because 2 times 2 times 2 is equals to 8. So, the 4th root of 8. So, mula sa 8th root, naging 4th root of 8. Last example natin is the cube root and the square root of 64. So, anong gagawin natin? Dalawa na yung radical sign dito. Okay, sa una, tingnan natin yung pinakaloob. 64 is a perfect square, kaya kukunin na natin yung square root niya. The square root of 64 is 8 because 8 times 8 is equals to 64. Kaya, ang natira na lang na radical sign ay yung cube root. So, the cube root of 8 na siya. Try natin, kunin yung factorization niya. So, 8 divided by 2 is 4. 4 divided by 2 is 4. So, ang prime factor ni 8 ay 2 times 2 times 2. So, i-rewrite lang natin siya. The cube root of 2 cube. Dalawa kayong option. Pwede natin i-cancel yan or pwede rin natin siyang i-rewrite natin into exponential. So, kung isusulat natin siya into exponential, so we have 2, tapos yung exponent niya na 3, divided by yung index niya, 3. Pag ni-lowest term natin, 3 over 3 is 1, so ang sagot na lang ay 2. So, yun yung magiging sagot niya. Or, pwede rin diretso ka na dito. Cancel, index cancel. So, ang sagot mo ay 2. Okay? So, yan. Same lang yan. So, pwede nyo rin itong gawin. Pwede natin pag-isahin yung kanilang index. So, 3 ang index, tas dito yung isa ay 2. So, i-multiply lang natin yung kanilang index. So, 3 times 2 is equals to 6. So, magiging the 6th root of 64. Pinag-isa lang natin. Tapos, pwede nyo gawin na yung prime factorization method. So, i-divide natin ng 64 by 2. 64 by 2 is 32. 32 divided by 2 is 16. 16 divided 2 is equals to 8. 8 divided 2 is equals to 4. Then 4 divided 2 is equals to 2. So, ang prime factors ng 64 ay 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, we have the 6th root of 2 raised to 6. Okay? So, shortcut, pwede na natin cancel to kasi divisible naman yung index niya. So, ang sagot pa rin ay 2. Okay? So, same lang din dito. Okay, so that will be the end of our part 1 about simplifying radical expressions.